If you're looking to generate free leads that turn into closed deals at scale, but also get endless repeat and referral clients, this conversation is going to be exactly what you need. Today, I bring on John, who is unbelievable when it comes to organic social media posting, and he breaks down the exact post that allowed him to break six figures every single year with his free content while having a ton of fun doing it. But he also talks about two things I almost never hear anybody really unpack and dive deep into. The first, repeat and referral clients, how to continue to generate consistent referrals every time you work with a client, but also Google reviews. Google reviews is without question one of the most underutilized, untapped, biggest opportunities that most agents are overlooking. And John has gotten 5-star reviews and broken records with this in his market every single year for the last number of years. And he talks about how he actually gets these reviews, what he says, when he asks for them, so that you can start to get them. Because the more 5-star reviews you get, the more you're going to show up for free on Google, the more free leads you're going to get, the more credibility and authority you have. So if you're ready to take your production to the next level, this is going to be the blueprint. Two quick things before getting started. Number one, I will link all of John's incredible content, including his podcast, which is all about agent training. He has a ton of valuable videos on there and podcasts, and it's one you should definitely check out because it's a wealth of knowledge. And number two, I'll link his calendar below because I guarantee there's going to be some things in here that blow your mind, and you might want to talk about partnering with him to scale your business to the next level. So let's bring on John and talk all things ninja strategies when it comes to getting tangible results from your free posts, referrals, and also reviews. All right, John, so super excited to have you here today and to really kind of unpack the pretty wild journey that you've been on, and one that I think is going to relate to a lot of agents. And we're going to kind of dive into some things that I think are extremely valuable that not many people really talk about, which is kind of at the end of this, diving into how you're getting so many 5-star reviews, how you've built the referral network organically. But before diving into some of these incredibly relevant and important strategies, I'd love for you to just give yourself a bit of an introduction, who you are, where you're from, and kind of the pretty crazy journey that got you to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm John Shookman. I'm a realtor here in Lancaster, PA. And I kind of the 20 years summarized into, 2 minutes is basically that I've had every W-2 job in the world, always in sales, and really could never keep a job. And I wasn't like robbing the cash register or sleeping with the boss. I'm a dreamer, I'm a visionary, I'm a creator, and I'm always trying to change things and make things more efficient, etc. And that kind of all came to a head. I could never stay in a job. Either I left or the job left me or something like that, to the point where February 26, 2019, I lost my last W-2 job, went into a very rough downward spiral after that, where for a while I was suicidal and didn't want to be alive and all those different things. Very thankful for my wife and my unborn son at the time, who kind of were the reason I stayed alive. But all that kind of led to that summer. I've been out of work for 3 months, realizing that maybe a W-2 isn't for me since I couldn't keep one. And asked a few friends, would I be good in real estate? And so they said you would. So I got licensed that summer, officially got licensed August 28th of 2019. 5 days later, my son was born. We were first-time parents. So it was a lot of change at once. So, and then I did not sell my first deal for 9 months after that, but I still posted on social media, did the things. And so what I kind of show people and teach people is that it's all about consistency. And if I can do it as a first-time dad, with my wife working and, taking care of my son and those kinds of things, you can do it. And I just want to say, Mike, I'm so thankful to you and to Jeremy Kane, who brought me over to EXP. I pushed back for so long, and it's absolutely changed my life. I tell Jeremy my only regret is I should have done it sooner, but I'm so thankful, and just, thankful to share my story, and thankful to you for this opportunity. Guys, for those of you watching, I know you watch his channel, Mike is the real deal. He shows up on calls every week to serve and help people. And I'm often in awe because I feel like if I were where you were, Mike, I'd probably want to sit on a beach somewhere, but you are a hustler and you work hard for your group. And I'm so proud of you and thankful to know you.
That means the world to me, man. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we're in the trenches every day because it's important to lead by example, and I think for me, this journey has allowed me to build so many incredible connections and relationships with people like you, Jeremy, and many others. That this is fun, and when you're around the right people, it is an exciting journey, and it can be a difficult journey for a lot of people. And I think that's gonna really hit home with what you start to kind of dive into here of you went from doing maybe about 40K a year to then consistently breaking six figures every single year. And I think that's kind of a similar position where a lot of agents might be, because the last 12 months didn't really go as planned for a lot of people. And especially with all of the, potential proposed changes coming down the pipeline, a lot of people are in fear. So what did that journey look like for you from going from, 40K a year is barely minimum wage, all the way to breaking six figures consistently?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, Mike, is it is that word consistency too. At the end is so important. I will say I'm a huge Philadelphia Phillies fan. Love sports, and the past 2 years I've gone to spring training and seen them practice. And you're there in February watching them run the bases, and you're like, are these guys, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, like, why are they running the bases? And what I learned in that is because you don't go from maybe not doing that in February, March, and April to then playing in the World Series or something in November. It's all about consistency. So when realtors say to me, well, I tried posting on social media, I say, no, you didn't. You didn't try for 9 months like I did. You didn't do it with no response. I mean, Mike, we know you did it for years and very little traction at the beginning. And so I think the people that win are the ones that say, I don't care about the likes, the comments, the reactions. I'm going to post and post. And it works. I had someone in my area that wants to be a realtor call me 2 days ago, and he said, yeah, I'm so impressed by your real estate journey and you being on the Dave Ramsey show, paying off your debt and all this. And I have not talked on social media about me being on Dave Ramsey's show since November, 15 months ago, 18 months ago, whatever it is. So those things that you post on social media, people remember them even if you post it once and don't say anything about Dave Ramsey again. That stuff works. I have clients that now trust me more because they know I paid off our debt, paid off our house, those kinds of things. And so when you share that journey and share it from like a humble place, it works. Your clients love to see it. Realtors love to see it. And what I think I've seen you say, and what I want to say is, I'm just a normal guy. Anyone can do this. You've said, I was watching a few of your videos a couple weeks ago, you were like, I'm nobody special. And now you are, but you didn't start being like, oh, I'm so amazing. You started just doing the simple things, realizing that consistency works. And I feel the same way. I am nobody special. I lead a membership group for realtors, and I say, guys, you can do this just as much as anyone can. I didn't have any special treatment or anything. I actually had a lot of hard work.
I love that, dude. And it really relates to, I love the Dave Ramsey story in the sense of, one of my first YouTube videos was after my first year when I bought my dad his dream road bike. And, I'll still get people come up to me at the gym. It happened literally 2 days ago, where a guy came up to me and he's like, hey, been following your journey. I saw that video. I'm like, dude, that was like 2017. But it sticks with people, and it shows that side. And I think, like you say, that humility is so important because, even, some people will look at where I am now and it's like, okay, you're doing pretty well. But I know people making my annual income like per month or per day. And so there's levels to this. And I think you need to remain humble to understand that at the end of the day, all of it can get taken away from you. This is about serving others. It's about making an impact on others and sharing your knowledge. So, let's kind of dive into that. You've done really well with organic social media. And I think the word organic is going to be important because there's that constant kind of reiteration from a lot of people that you have to pay to play. But there's two different ways to pay, with money and with time. And if you don't have money, like a lot of agents just getting started out, you have time. And if you properly allocate your time, you can make a lot of money. So what platforms did you start to touch on, and how did you start to utilize them in order to drum up business?
Absolutely. Well, I think Facebook is my main one, and also Instagram. I use LinkedIn, and of course, now being a part of your crew, I'm diving into some other ones and trying to get on YouTube. But what I've realized, and I sort of had an advantage because back when I was doing my W-2 job years ago, I also did professional wedding photography, and so I would notice that anytime I would put a gallery on the internet from a wedding, normally someone would contact me to try to book. So when I was a broker realtor those first few months, being that stay-at-home dad, I was like, okay, well, what can I do? I actually felt very discouraged because there is a huge realtor in my area, right? They've got the trucks, they've got the buses, they've got their name everywhere. And a realtor next door to me was going to list with me, listed with them. And I just checked in through the process and got very discouraged because they send like $5 postcards to every neighborhood where they sell a home. And I'm like, I can never compete with this. And what she said at the end was, I said, how was listing with X, this agent's name? And this was what I want people to hear. She said to me, John, if I would have known I would only see X, this agent, at the initial meeting, I knew him 30 years ago, I would have never listed with him. That was worth much more than the listing or the postcard or whatever to me, because it made me realize, hold on, there are people that want to work with X, that guy and his big name, and Barbara Corcoran advertises for him and all this. But there are people that want to work with me, who I get to say, I'm part of the journey the whole time, guys. You're working with John. You'll see John dropping off the signs. You'll see John. I mean, now I have a transaction coordinator, but like, you'll see John sending the paperwork. You'll see John at the settlement table. You'll see John at the inspection. People want that. And so realtors out there, I hope you can be encouraged by this. There's big agents, and they're going to be big agents. That's not your competition. Your competition is the one that really wants a personal relationship and was treated badly by another agent. So I use that story, and my photography journey led me to say, I'm just going to post what I'm doing on social media. Post when I'm at an open house, right? You know, those first 5-6 months, Mike, you know this, I was doing open houses, showings, open houses, walkthroughs, putting up signs. How much money did I make? Realtors know this, right? $0. But people kept saying to me, John, you are crushing it. You're crushing it. And I'm like, I didn't have the heart to like cry in front of them and tell them like, guys, I think I'm going to lose my house. I'm making no money. But what I learned in that moment was social media is all about perception. That doesn't mean lie. But if you're doing stuff, open houses, walkthroughs, showings, record that. My first client, Mike, I showed 63 homes to. So instead of moaning and complaining about it, I just showed, showing a house in this city, showing a house in York, in Lancaster. And people were like, holy cow, you're crushing it. And so social media is all about perception. Again, that doesn't mean lie. It means share what is relative and relevant, because that will help you. So people suddenly came to me and they're like, we want to work with you. We see you're crushing it. And I'm like, I've sold one house. But that is kind of what can happen when you share organically on social media. People love that I share about my love for the Phillies. I love my family, and I'm so thankful to God for all my blessings. So I share about that. When people get to know, like, and trust you, they want to do business with you. So a lot of my business comes from just an organic post, a post in a group. I was telling you a little bit before, right? Like on people's birthday, I send a birthday message because everyone just posts on their wall. That has led to someone a few months ago say, hey, thanks so much. By the way, did we tell you about this property that we're thinking about selling? I had not spoken to her in 15 months, but she knew, like, that birthday message reminded her, oh, John's a realtor. So I just think, I don't want to oversimplify it, Mike, but I think it can be that simple. You share about your life, you share about your clients. I know a lot of people that we know want more listings. Well, geez, every freaking listing that I have that crushes it, 30 showings, 10 offers, etc. I share about that, man. Why? Because I know it's going to lead to another listing. I sold my home about a year ago, and we moved, and we got 70 people through the open house and scheduled showings. 30 people open house, 40 scheduled showings. So I shared what was relevant. I didn't share we only got one FHA offer. I shared, you want 70 people through your house in the first weekend, list with me. And so I think it's share that stuff and be honest and vulnerable about your journey.
Yeah, man. It's really cool. There's a couple things to unpack there. People are just naturally interested in the industry. And I think a lot of people overlook that, of the fact that they think you need the big luxury listings, you need the big, heavy hitters out there. But the truth is people, that's why HGTV even exists, because people love understanding and seeing the journey in real estate. But there's a couple talking points in terms of the personal side as well as the leverage side. One of the things that I used to do, similar to you in terms of perception, is when I would list a home, I would show the coming soon photo of one of the interior. I would show the just listed of the exterior front. I would do an open house of a different interior room. I would do under contract of a different interior room, and then the just sold of the exterior rear. So now you've got 5 different photos. The average person thinks it's 5 different listings. And similarly, everybody was saying, oh my God, you're crushing it. It was one listing. It's just different photos from the listing instead of everybody doing the same front shot every time. Get creative with it. And that's how you start to turn one deal into multiple. But the important thing that I think I'd love for you to maybe touch on a little bit more in terms of posting on Facebook and Instagram is that personal side. Because a lot of people say, okay, I just need to be consistent, and they're posting, these fluffy interior design renderings from some other Instagram page. And, you're posting your family, you're posting your love for the local native sports team. You're sharing who John actually is, which allows people to actually connect with you. So what does that look like in terms of you coming up with either ideas to post or, finding a good way to blend that personal side into your content while still making it known that you're the go-to agent?
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is I try not to overthink it, right? The other day, I took a picture of my daughter and she was smiling, and I posted it. A few days ago, we got my son's in preschool. We got his photos back. I'm going to post those. It's like, oh, here's a cute photo and I'm going to post it. I think realtors struggle because they overthink it. Right? I run a group on, that I have going on. And when someone shares a success story with me, there's this guy, Heath, and he's like, John, oh my goodness, I just got my first client from social media. And I laughed and I'm like, oh, so you're saying it works, what I've been preaching works. And I'm like, can I share this on Facebook? All I'm doing is literally taking that screenshot from him and posting it. I'm not overthinking it. I think all of us as realtors have so much going on. It would be very easy to sit at the desk all day and write notes and be like, oh my goodness, what do I post? What do I post? And I've had to say, stop, John, stop overthinking it. Post something, right? I think realtors can also stress themselves out because they're like, oh my gosh, I have no deals. I have this. What's something exciting that happened in your life this week? Post a question. The other day I posted a question for engagement. It said, what was the best piece of advice you've ever gotten? The comments were really good, right? And so I just think it's stop overthinking it. You are an expert at social media and now AI. In the age of AI, there should be no reason you don't have stuff to post multiple times a week. Hey, I'm a realtor in Lancaster, PA. This is what I'm doing. This is my brokerage, etc. Give me a few ideas. Oh, it says go to a local restaurant, right? Boom, let's just go. Shop local Saturday, go to the local pizza shop, take a picture, eat the pizza, pay for the pizza, and then just share it on your journey. Go back there a few weeks later, ask the owner, can I interview you, right? Noah Ward in our group did that and crushes it, right? And so I just think, man, the biggest thing, let's stop overthinking it, right? We overthink it. We think it has to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. Mike, Noah, Jeremy, all these people that, you can find on Mike's YouTube and stuff started small, right? I think my biggest thing is I'm always like, oh, how do I look? How do I this? Stop. If I want to lead others, I have to stop feeling like I have to be perfect and just be myself.
100%, man. That's such an important message. I always, harp on the fact that done is better than perfect. And I did the same as you. For my first 1,000 days as a licensed agent, I posted once a day on Instagram. And if you asked me day one to come up with 1,000 posts, I would have told you you've lost your mind. But like you alluded to, as the days went on, I just found something, right? And there's always going to be something, whether it be, part of your personal life, part of your business life, part of your adventure. But I love that you really touched on that. So, looking at scaling, because, the consistent income, a lot of that comes from being able to kind of duplicate your success. And you've done really well with referrals, and then we'll get into reviews. But referrals is one thing where a lot of people kind of get jacked up with, where the average agent that I see struggling focuses on one deal, one by one by one. But the ones that start to win and consistently break that 6-7 figure per year mark are looking at every one deal can be multiple if I can get repeat, referral, service it properly. What has that been like for you in terms of being able to strategically generate consistent referrals?
Yeah, well, I will just say this is something I struggled with early, and now I'm staring at right behind me. I have a board right there talking about my active clients and clients in the past year. One over here talking about some stuff, and here talking about social media things I need to post. And so if you're like me, an ADHD entrepreneur, just have something written on like I know that this one settled December 4th. Well, then I need to be checking in with them, right? Is it January 4th? Is it April 4th? Whatever it is. Hey, how's the house? Right? A lot of realtors sell a house and then do not speak to the person because they're like, well, I don't know what to say, whatever. Just pick up the phone or send a text. Hey, thinking of you guys. How's the house? Not a pitch, not a this, just caring about relationships. I often say to realtors, do the things that got you there. So what did I do early in my career, and what have I stopped doing because I've gotten busy? Let's go back to doing that stuff. I check in with my clients. I don't do it perfectly, but I'm trying to do it well. And they appreciate it. Clients don't want to be looked at as a paycheck, man. They do not. And so if you can look at this board, make a board or a sticky note or whatever, and talk to those people, it's gonna help, right? Facebook is big for me. When I see it's their birthday and they're in my phone as a client, I'm going to send them a text or call them. Hey, happy birthday. Thinking of you. How's the house? That stuff stands out. It's very interesting, Mike. I was coaching a realtor last week and she said, I want more listings. I'm like, your content does not tell me that you're a listing agent. It tells me that you serve buyers. So if you're listening to this, first of all, you've got the greatest teacher in the world in Mike showing you on his YouTube all the tools that you can use. But more than anything, share that what you can do. If clients are saying to you, oh, can you, and this person was saying, they would say to her, oh, can you help me list a home too? That told me you're not telling people you're a listing agent. Your social media is telling people you're a buyer's agent. I want everyone as they listen to this to think about this and maybe do it now or later, but pause it, come back to this, whatever. I want you to look through your social media. Just go to your public page. Would you buy from yourself? Mm-hmm. Would you buy from yourself, right? If you go to, there's a few people I know, and if you go to their page, you know exactly what they do, their family, their friends, their faith, if any, all those things. If you go to my page, I hope you can see it within 30 seconds. And if not, you can yell at me. But you should be able to see within 30 seconds what John does, because that's how long, I don't have long to make an impression in the age of scrolling on TikTok and Reels. It is very quick. If you go to my page, I have a few seconds. And so, right, look at Mike's pages. He's got the purple, he's got the car, the Lamborghini, right? Yeah. The Lamborghini, the wolf in one of them. Mike is all about that brand. Well, I would buy from Mike. Would you buy from yourself? I think is a great question. And so checking in and not letting those people fall through the cracks, man.
Yeah, man. I love that so much because a lot of people, similar to social media content, they overthink, overcomplicate absolutely everything. They're kind of wondering, okay, well, I know I need to follow up. What's the perfect drip campaign? What's the perfect thing to say? Where's the script? And you're saying just do it and be genuine and be authentic and care and love on your people, right? And same, I really like that you touched on the visual aspect, because I do the same. If people saw that, they see the size of business I've built, but how I run it, right now, every month I list out all of the major tasks and outcomes that I need on a Google Sheet, and I organize it by date of when it's due, and it's on my desktop right now. And every day I just say, what's that one visual thing I need to get done today? What's the next thing? What's the next? And it's so surprising the massive momentum you could build just by seeing what you need to do. Because I find so many agents are reactive, where they wake up and they're like, what the heck am I going to do today? Whereas your approach is proactive. I sit down in my chair, I see what I'm doing today, let's get after it. Completely different approach. And a lot of agents always harp on the fact that I'm so visual. but you don't make your business visual, you know?
Right. Well, and I think Mike, even as we talked about content, I have a podcast for realtors that I released twice a month, and then twice a week, and then 3 times a week, and now I've backed it up to once. But for 2 years, I did 3 times a week. And if you would have asked me, kind of like you were saying about 1,000 days, oh my gosh, come up with 100 content ideas, I would have been like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. But when I was doing 3 times a week, or even once a week now, I'll be driving to a showing or whatever, or maybe you say something on a call or somebody, or I'm just like, oh, that's a great podcast episode. I sit on my phone, I record a quick voice memo. Hey, here's an episode idea. Mike said this on the call, and this is da-da-da. And I literally do a voice memo. Realtors, you're in the freaking car all the time. Like, I don't know if it's voice memos or whatever, but like that helps me where, hey, if there's a social post I want to make, oh, hey, Jeremy said this, let's just make a really quick voice memo and listen to it later when I'm in the car, because that to me has been a game changer. I actually have a thread with myself that I text, and it says social media stuff to remember. So it's just a post. Maybe it's, oh, I'm on Mike's YouTube. I'm on, okay, boom. It just is like, okay, when I don't have something to share, I just go back to one of those posts that I put in that thread. So I think those simple things realtors can do. We all have a phone, we all have voice memos, we all have text messages, notes. Like, just start recording that stuff or putting it in a note, and that will help you, reach that audience, whether it's, realtors or clients.
Such a powerful kind of statement. And I think that's one of the things I would love for people to really be able to take away from this, is that there's ideas everywhere. And I do something very similar, where sometimes I'm watching somebody else's YouTube video that's literally not even within the realm of related to real estate, but something gets said and I'm like, damn, I could relate that to realtors, or I could relate that to my clients, or I love what this person did, but they're in a completely different market. I could relate that to my market. And you start to find inspiration all over the place. And I think it's really, really cool. Sometimes I'll be driving down the highway and see a billboard of like, I don't know, some other like cosmetic company or something like that. And I'm like, damn, that caught my attention. What if I apply that to real estate? And you start to have fun with it, Yep. So I think it's really cool that you kind of touched on that. Now, something I'm really excited to unpack with you is reviews, because I've done, probably a video a year talking about the importance of leveraging Google Business Profile. Now it used to be Google My Business, leveraging Facebook, and making sure that you're stacking credibility every time you work with somebody. Like, it blows my mind when you see some of these agents that have been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years. They've worked with hundreds of clients and they've got 5 Google reviews. And so, when you look at consumer behavior, if I'm looking for a steakhouse to go to tonight, I'm looking at those damn reviews and I'm booking the one that has the most reviews. So let's dive into everything review.
Yeah, I love this. So this is one of the things where I feel like when I talk to realtors, they're like completely missing. Okay, and so I want you to think about it as I go through this. So you're listening to this. When do you ask a client for a review? And if you answer 2 weeks after settlement, you're missing it. You're missing it. So the best time to ask for a review, and I'll get into quickly how I do it, but the best time to ask for a review is before settlement, maybe when you get the clear to close. The second best time is at the settlement table. And by the way, I don't care that your 90-year-old client does not use a computer. They can type, and you can create a Mike Sherrard 12345 at gmail.com account very quickly and say, Mike, will you just type this review here? Boom, log out. You're done with that account. It's that simple. There should be absolutely no reason you are not getting a review. Can you tell I get passionate about this, Mike? And not only that, there should be zero reason why you were asking 2 weeks later, because the best time they love you is as they're about to buy the house, and then when they bought the house. Every day after that, they love you a little less. And 6 months later, they will forget who you are and not care. So I, as you guys can probably tell, I like to have fun. I like to joke around. I make it a joke with my clients. So what do you mean? All right, so I meet a client. I'll use a real client. His name's Jeremy. A friend of mine after church one day says, hey, are you looking for new clients? I said, always. Thanks so much. He said, call my friend Jeremy. It's 1 p.m. I called Jeremy. I talked to Jeremy and his wife for 2 hours about the whole process of buying a home. They say, hey, we know you. We're so thankful. Thank you so much. Like, we did see this home we did like, because I said, let me know if you see anything. I'll set up the MLS search. We did see this home, but it's in York and offers are due at 5. I'm like, awesome. I'll get in the car. I'll see you guys there at 4 p.m. We got in the car. I drove there. And afterwards, and this is just kind of what I do, you build this. Afterwards, they didn't like it. They didn't want to make an offer, but they said, dude, thank you so much. You're amazing. Like, thanks for doing that. And I could tell they were a little like sarcastic, like, you got to be careful of the client. Like, and I said, thanks. Like, they're like, you're amazing. I'm like, awesome. Write that in the 5-star review. And they died laughing. They thought it was hilarious. Right. So it was kind of a joke. But then I'm like, oh, that worked. And I did it with every client since. 4 weeks later, Jeremy's under contract on a new build. He calls me, missed the call. And he said, call me back when you can. And I said, dude, I'm so sorry. 6 hours later, I'm so sorry. Busy day. He goes, yeah, you suck. And I said, cool, write that in the 1-star review. And he died laughing. Okay. And so don't take it too seriously. So then 2 months later, new build is ready. They're about to settle. We get the clear to close. That's the only 2 times I bring it up. I send Jeremy a text. Hey, can you do me a favor? No, John, I'm not giving you your effing 5-star review right now. And so he knew. And so I think with your clients, like, be human, be a person, enjoy it, joke around. And here's the other part, guys. Explain to your clients why. Hey, this really helps my business grow. Would you help me? Right? At that time, I was a new realtor. I'd been in 2 years. Like, now I have a template and I'd give it to anyone. The template says, here's the template for where you can leave me a review. Here is why reviews are important and how they help me. Not only might do 100% of my clients leave a review, but they leave them on Google, Facebook, Realtor.com, and Zillow in that order almost all the time. And Google is the main one. Why? Google's the #1 search engine in the world. So if you Google me, you will find my reviews. The other part of this, Mike, is there is a website, not affiliated, guys, ratemyagent.com. It's where agents get awards. So guess what? When I tell someone, hey, John, why should we list with you? Well, guess what? I tell them in 2021, I was the #2 agent in terms of most reviews in my county. In 2022, #1, 2023, #1. Now, just so you guys know, nobody gets reviews. So the most is like, I get 20 a year, but I'm always #1. So when I talk to realtors, guys, get on Rate My Agent. They let you link for free the reviews from Google to your account. You will start showing on there an award winner. If you go to Rate My Agent and search John Shookman, you will see John Shookman's an award winner 2021, 22, 23. That helps me sell houses, guys. That helps me get repeat business. Because guess what? If Mike is Googling the steakhouse before he goes, your clients are Googling you before they work with you. And when your Google profile says 1 review from your grandma, you're not getting the business.
Yeah, dude, it's so true. And I love that you kind of lean into the fact that you need to have fun with it, because how you perceive yourself doing something is how others receive it, in the sense of, I got this a lot with door knocking. I did really well with door knocking because my perspective when I door knocked was, I'm leading with value. And if somebody was to sell their home, I'm going to go above and beyond anybody else. So I'm doing them a service. Absolutely. Well, the average person struggles because their, perception is, I'm soliciting, I'm annoying, I'm bothering. And a lot of people get that same kind of thing with reviews, where they're afraid to ask because they feel like they're essentially just asking for something without anything in return, and they feel like salesy and solicitational. And the truth is again, if you did a great job for your client, just like you said with the listing in the beginning, the amount of people that worked with an agent where the experience was not good, you're doing a disservice to your market center by not getting a review, because now people will work with the wrong agent because they didn't know you were the right agent, Hey,
you just said something there about being selfish. Can I add one more piece to that about social media?
Of course.
A mentor once told me this, guys, and I was like, I still remember it like it was yesterday. It was a couple of years ago. His name's Vincent. I'm in a mastermind group with him, and he said, we were talking about social media, and it wasn't me, but he was talking to someone else, and he said, you're being selfish by not posting. And I said, no, you're wrong. You're being selfish when you post. And he says, Shookman, he calls me, he goes, Shookman, do you know crappy realtors in Lancaster? Yes. Do you know people that are going to take advantage of you? This, that. Yes. You are being selfish when you don't post about your business. And I argued with him. I'm like, no. And then I finally understand. If the people that are bad agents are going to post, I tell my people that, and my downline, and like, you are being selfish when you don't post. Now, we're not begging for business. If you guys, and you don't even have to be my friend when you watch this, my Facebook is public. You can look at it. I talk about my business. I do not beg for business ever. I'm myself, I'm authentic, but I am being selfish if I don't tell you about my business. You then get the choice of whether you want to work with me or not. That's up to you. But I'm being selfish because if I don't post about my real estate business and how I serve clients and take care of them and really genuinely care, right? Then I am doing you a disservice. So many people I know hire other agents, and then they're like, I should have hired you. And that's when I said, you idiot, you should have posted more. That's my fault that they didn't know I was an agent. And so, sorry to kind of veer, but I just think you need to hear this. You are being selfish if you're not posting, and you're letting someone else work with that scumbag in your town.
Big time, dude. It's so true. And I think that's why agents just need a bit of a wake up call and a poke in the eye to get outside of their own head and just get after it, because you wonder why, because I hear this all the time. Well, I'm working so hard and I would do a better job than them. Well, then why aren't you telling people you do a better job? And why aren't you showing it, right? And so at the end of the day, it's always our fault. Most people are just trying to play the blame game and point the finger at anything else under the sun. So there's a couple other things I'd love to kind of jam out about. The first being your podcast. What's that all about? Because I think there's going to be a lot of people getting a ton of value from this and are going to be curious to follow a little bit along more and see what you're up to.
Yeah, I'll try not to get emotional here. I think the biggest thing is everything I've built in my business, I build for me 1 or 2 or 3 years ago, depending on what it was, right? And so the podcast was literally me saying no one taught me anything, and I want to teach realtors these lessons that they need to know. My old brokerage and team literally said, you cannot have a podcast. And when I said why, they said, you don't know anything. And I said, how dare you? Like, I do. First of all, if the only thing I knew at that time was I had taken the classes, but I had sold homes for a year. Like, I was so offended, and I said nicely, I'm going to do it anyway. You give me the wording, and then I had to put that it wasn't affiliated with the company. I said, screw you. I'm more passionate about it now because you said I don't know anything. Here's what I find, Mike. So many agents struggle. They don't have the resources. I didn't have someone like you releasing free content on YouTube at the beginning. And so I wanted a resource for realtors to feel like they could see but stories and different kinds of things about how to survive. I share my life. I share honest interactions with clients. I'll be talking soon about the settlement on the proposed settlement on the podcast. I want to be the voice for realtors, and I want realtors to have feel like someone cares. Someone that found my podcast and then joined my membership group. I met him in Florida when I was there with my family 3 weeks ago, and he's like, I can't believe I'm meeting you. And what did I say? I said, I'm just a normal guy, Steven. I'm so honored to meet you. Like, I'm proud of you for what you're doing. Steven found my podcast when he was struggling. And so, I mean, especially now, Mike, we see it. Realtors, like, the good ones are going to be good. The bad ones are going to be out of the industry. And so I don't want that. They say 86% of realtors are out within 5 years. I don't want people to be a statistic. This is an amazing, amazing industry. I love it so much. And I want realtors to feel like they have someone in their corner.
Yeah, man. And again, I'm going to link, John's podcast below and all of his platforms, so you can go check it out because it's incredible. I've checked out some of the episodes and just a wealth of knowledge. And again, you can tell that you've got a servant's heart and you love to lead with value. And I think that perfectly kind of lends itself to the last thing I always like to touch on, which is, you and I are now partners. And, between, myself, Louis, Jeremy, and yourself, you're going to be hard pressed to find a better stack of 4 people to pour into and help you get to the next level of your business. But I just like to kind of understand what kind of opened your eyes to maybe the opportunity of partnering with us at EXP, and what can people expect when partnering with you?
Look, Mike, you're going to make me emotional. Bro, let me just say, guys, Mike is the real deal. Connor is the real deal. Louis, I literally messaged Connor a few weeks ago about an investor that wanted to join. He's like, here's some resources. Boom. Connor, Mike, Lou, none of you are like, oh, I'm too good for this. You answer questions. I didn't believe it when I was coming over. Mike, I'll I'll be honest. I'll embarrass myself a little bit. A few months ago on a call, Mike said, "Guys, look at what John's doing." And I texted Jeremy, and I'm like, "Did Mike just say my name?" Like I sort of like not fanboyed, I guess a little bit. I was like, "Oh, I didn't." But you are involved. You know your agents. You're checking them out. What I think, and I know I'm not answering, but I'm like, what I appreciate you is like, there's calls where you're like, "Hey guys, how can I help?" And there's calls where you know people need a kick in the pants, and you give it to them. And that's what a good coach and mentor does. You're like, "I'm tired of the crap, guys. Knock it off. We're done making excuses. When are you going to do the work?" So I appreciate that so much, but. My my first connection to EXP was Jeremy. He got on a call. I was doing these free social media audits, and he's like, and I said, if this is a recruiting pitch, I don't want to talk. And then he listened to what I said about social media. I actually gave him advice on things you should be doing better. And he just kept in touch, man. He joined my membership. He served the people. He led calls. I mean, dude, Jeremy is like the freaking man. He's like my hero. This is like, he did this, Mike, for a year or two. Yeah, it was a year at least. And it was just like, I was in shock. I'm like, holy cow. So when I went to make a switch, this is the thing, guys, when you go to switch brokerages, everyone is going to kiss your butt and show you the fancy office and whatever. This is that we don't do that. We lead with value. We serve. We connect. You could come to an Explain call Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern with Mike Sherrard and ask any questions, and he will answer them. That's serving. That's helping. Like it's. And when I saw it, my eyes were open to it, you know, people say, "Oh, they just pitch, they just recruit, they don't sell houses." I've sold more houses at EXP, man, than I've ever sold in my life. Yeah, sorry. I like, there's just so much value. I think my eyes were first open to answer the question by Jeremy serving my group and helping me and caring about me. I mean, I went out for a podcast conference in Denver, had never met him in person. I don't even think I was at EXP, maybe. And he was like, "Hey, you want to stay at my house?" Who does that? Who does that? Like, that's the kind of like servant's heart. And I get emotional because it's changed my life. And I'm so thankful to Jeremy and Louie, you, Connor. Like, it has absolutely changed my life. And I'm just, my only regret is I was stubborn for a couple years and didn't do it, because now the last year of my life has been wild, and I'm so thankful. So yeah, thank you. And just, yeah, what I really learned, Mike, was everyone that was talking crap on you and EXP and the Wolfpack were people outside that were scared of it and know that it's going to take over. We are coming to serve and to help and to care about people. And the brick and mortar brokerages just cannot keep up. My old brokerage is losing people faster than anything. So anyway, I'm sorry, that was long-winded, but I'm just so thankful and proud to be here.
No, dude, and I'm grateful to be on the journey with you, and that's the cool part, is we're all in this together, and we all get to help each other win, and we're incentivized to help each other win. And I think, you know, I love this story because I remember Jeremy hitting me up saying you're coming to town and you guys were going to link up, and you know, that's like the same story as when, you know, I got stuck down in Denver after speaking at an event with Brian Serhant, and 500 of us got COVID, and I'm in a different country during the heat of COVID. And you're not allowed back in Canada for 2 weeks. And Louie's like, "Okay, just stay with me." Put me up in his house with him, and we just jammed out. And it was incredible to have a home, no matter where you go, of people that actually care. And
Mike, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if you remember meeting me originally. I was in Dallas for Podcast Movement. Jeremy said, "Just come meet." He knew what he was doing, but like, he's like, "Here's Mike." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. I don't know who Mike is." But you shook my hand. You said, "What's your name? It's nice to meet you." You did not act like, "Well, I'm this big shot." I was like, holy. And then I looked you up and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's Mike Sherrard. Like, and people know I haven't had the privilege of going to EXPCon yet, but I'm so excited for this year. Like, when you meet you or Glenn Sanford or whatever at a conference, Mike does not act like, "Oh, I'm the man, don't talk to me. I got like my entourage, you got to stay 12 feet away like I'm Justin Bieber." It's not like that. So anyway, I just had to share that, like, that even that first moment meeting you and Noah and all these people crushing it at that first meeting when you guys were having an event, but I was at another event in Dallas, just was wild. And like, I remembered that months and months later.
I love that, dude. It's so special. And I think, again, that's what I'm so proud of everybody in our group for doing, is that there are a lot of other groups at these other cloud-based brokerages that are recruiting, that are soliciting, that are, maybe taking an approach that I don't necessarily align with. But you look at our group and everybody is just saying, how can I serve the next person? How can I change the next person's life? And I'm going to give you everything I got to make sure that you are the next success story. And so, with that being said, I think it's an incredible opportunity. If you're an agent, you're not where you want to be right now, make sure you book a call with John, be able to talk with him, because he will help you unpack your business. And the best part about it is, if you decide to go this way, you get 4 people that are going to pour into you and will change your life. So John, again, man, thank you so much for being here today, brother. It was a wealth of knowledge, and I'm so excited to probably jump back on here again sometime soon.
Yes, sir. Hey, love you, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for all that you do for not only our group, but realtors all around the world. You're changing the industry, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, brother. Well, guys, again, you have to check out John. Click all the links in the description of the pinned comment. Follow his journey. Check out his group. Check out the podcast. And also hit up that calendar so you can talk about what it's like to align with us. So thanks so much again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.